Alright guys, so this is home for the next couple of days. It's a whole vibe. It is a whole vibe, bro. A whole vibe. Today I was like, oh, this is what hotel looks. Last night when I heard the water beside the deck, I was like, yeah. I said to Sparkie, there's water on it. He said, there's a beach. I was like, oh, I could hear. My hearing isn't bad.
I'm telling you, Shamar, just turn on the light and talk about. You have to turn on the light. Turn round. Turn round. No, see my name, infrared eyeglass. People, I try.
It's starting in town. But really, my main question is for you is, what's your drive? What's your push to just to do what you do? What pushes you to incorporate all the people in the community and keep building the community? Because even when we went down to Miss Shirley today, she was like, no matter what, Jake's not leaving me out. He calls me to get persons to come down.
The best way to do exercise. The best way to exercise and not pay for it is take your work as an exercise. You sleep on the floor, you use it as an exercise. You water in the garden, you use it as an exercise. You bend down low, you get up nice, you touch over, you spread the ground, and by the time you finish...
So you go down so low, Miss Shirley, you go down further than some of them young girl, yeah, man.
See what I was saying, I don't need to walk. I get up in the morning
and you work.
And I work.
Yes.
I feel like say, me get a little bit flabby, I gonna move some black. Carry them myself. I wait till them boy come and I saw me carry them. Hey, me come back and I feel like say, me knee out of place, me go like this.
Yeah, what it Hey!
Come on, and then too close, so me start working. Charlie? No, go on again. What's it? I might do like this. See? And I do this all when I'm working. When me a sweep broom, a sweep with the broom. What?
No man, cut up on the tree again.
I never show me a show, me just say. I do all of my exercises. This is what it is. That's Donald Trump. And so one time people tell me, say them go on a yoga class and I pay money for brother. So they say, when you do water this man, what things I do? I say, I don't know what things I do this man when I water my ground. I stretch, I climb tree, I go take off branch, I hold over like this and I go pop off things. So I never exercise class, nobody look at me like me do exercise.
Just fit, naturally.
The exercise when I'm in my garden, that's it. And when I clean my house. Right? We will have a mop to wipe my floor. I wet polish. You just wipe your hand and shine. Watch me in the morning and all this side. So that not happen. I use that point.
Yeah, a rivers. It's a rivers.
Yeah, I tell you.
Dig that, come sign her.
No, sir. That me I tell you, Shirley Rivers. Don't that, sir. Me no bother use a mop. Because I feel some need. We just go down and do that. What me I do with yoga? I have a floor cooking. You save money. You don't pay for going to yoga class and you don't pay nobody for come do your work. You save whole heap of money. And people like me get rich. You don't pay money for doing it yoga.
Politics.
Shut up on your pants with you, but I'm holding this. I will vote it by the way.
I want to know what, because you have a spot here, so you could easily probably offer like a sauna or something. Right. But I see that you try to incorporate the community, everything that you do, the breaks, with the best foundation and stuff. So I want to know what pushes you to try to incorporate everybody.
You know, I grew up coming to Treasure Beach. That's number one. Number two, I love seeing people fulfill their potential. and I love seeing someone at the grassroots level who has a dream, and through support and through coverage make it into what it can be, right? So like, you know, what she does with that bush bath, what Shirley does with that bush
Because
bath.
I was there, so I can tell you.
Right.
I was there.
It's a prime example, because you know, whether it's a poor person, a rich person, let us say a rich person who has been to all the fabulous spas with the gold caps and the marble and stuff. You can't impress that person anymore. You get me? Because they've seen it all. But send him to Shirley, right?
Different experience.
And she does give them the real, you know, herbs and talk about.
No rush. You have a change over another clothes there.
Mm-hmm.
And what you gonna do for me really, when you change over in that clothes, you can just sit or hang around. I leave this to you before to dress on it race on. So this is the water I'm gonna put in there for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go in there, you won't get dehydrated.
When you
Yeah, the
look at-
conversation is a big part of
big
the
part.
experience too.
So you
because-
can just look at her and you can tell it. She lives it. She's authentic.
I prefer to use fiberglass than lemongrass. People think they are the same thing. They are not. Lemongrass seed, fiberglass does not. See? But my mother don't give me lemongrass fever. We get fiberglass. That's why I don't give it to me fiberglass. But people think say country people are idiots. Come down here and tell people about fever. Oh, I know fiberglass. Really? Yeah. We say, you think say we don't know lemongrass and we are called fever grass, lemongrass because we are country people. We say you ever grow one yet? I would tell
You know? The same way when you go and talk to Floyd about Pelican Bar and having a dream to build that bar, and everybody told him he was crazy. And you know, we looked at people and said, you're going to be world famous one day. We're going to bring your people, we're going to bring your journalists and travel writers. And now the bar is one of the top 15 bars in the world. You know what I mean? So I think when you see someone with an idea, you know, Blackie who owns Little Ochi, you know, to me that is like the best seafood restaurant.
You're like a facilitator.
Yeah.
If it's anywhere you can help, you
Well,
try to.
to me, it's just like, I guess, when a record producer sees an artist and hears him or her, you know, just drop a one line and he's like, I see something in that person.
I'm going to help
You
to
know,
build.
when Blackie started Little Ochi, no one went to Alligator Pond. No one went to Alligator. No people come from all over Jamaica. I would say even all across the world. It's my favorite seafood restaurant in the world, Little Ochi. And I'll tell you that even though I own a seafood restaurant. You get me? It's just a reality,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, you know, you see how Reds is passionate about his bicycle
Yes,
tour.
I never really got to go.
Oh, you
but
didn't get to go?
I kind of had an issue with riding the bicycle.
Okay.
I'm not at the beginner level yet. I'm a little before beginner.
Before beginner. so you need training wheels, eh?
Yeah, the axe for a tricycle, but he didn't have any.
What you don't know, push off, you know. The man that said, in the name of Jesus.
God,
Trust this.
God go with you.
But trust this.
Look how Jake's treasure beach nice, you know.
Oh, you asking them about my tricycle? Optical Elements, please help Shamar with him infrared eyeglass. And the first eyeglass, me see where transition lens.
Alright, where we for you? You can push out, take it out.
Forward.
So yeah,
You know, but
I come back though.
I love to see people succeed, and it's just like an employee. You know, I believe if you give someone the right training, try and find out what people are passionate about. Try and give them the right training, the right support, and just watch how they blossom. You know what I mean? And when someone finds their passion, it's just such a beautiful thing to watch. You know, so within a few minutes of me meeting you for the first time in my life, I could tell you were passionate about what you do, this blog and unearthing stories, and you know, and just going around different parts of Jamaica and just being like, hey, you know, what makes you tick? What makes you tick?
So you just find passion and then help to build and grow. Like
Yeah.
a flower. So
Yeah.
You help them to
So
blossom.
I grew up coming to Treasure Beach, and when my mother started Jake's as a restaurant, the only people who were coming here were people with shoot birds, August and September, and German backpackers, and maybe some people from Mandeville. There was no Americans, no Canadians, no Brits, and I just believed in the place, and I just said the reason they're not coming is because they don't know about it, right? So all I did was invite travel writers, authors, poets, and it just sparked, and it just caught fire. Yeah, sparked. And something just allowed it to just kind of like build on itself. So we went from 2 rooms to 4 rooms to 6 rooms to 8 rooms, and now we have 65 rooms. We just grew organically, the same way as you. In 5 years' time, you'll probably have a production company with assistants and PAs and talent, scouts, and it's just, I love to see ideas come to life.
And I think it's good to see a vision too, because I heard you mention that you said you believed in what your mother started, and so you started to invite persons to come. Because if you don't believe in something, you're not going to help to promote it.
Correct.
So if I have a plan, like when I started my YouTube channel, if I didn't believe that I could be here interviewing you or doing something like that, then I wouldn't push it, I wouldn't promote it as much, because you can only promote something that you truly believe in and that you truly understand and truly live.
Correct.
Question, I can see that culture is really important to you, because you said you have been coming here, you came here when you were younger, and then your mother started. You also said that you try to incorporate the persons around, and you spoke about Miss Shirley and how her thing is very authentic and different from everywhere. So basically you're saying that culture is very important to you, and like sustaining your culture as a nation.
The Jamaican culture is so relevant in the world, and look at what happened last week when the court decided that a school should have the right to not allow a Rastafarian.
And that's a part of our culture.
It caused that global attention to the court ruling, right? Not Jamaican, people, media were calling from around the world just to say, this doesn't sound like Jamaica. This doesn't sound like a decision that, fits in with Jamaica being a culturally iconic place in the world. What's going on here? And then you saw the response from the Prime Minister, like just a few days later. Our music, our style, our dance, it's just, I don't know what it is. We believe in ourselves, we believe in each other, we're tough on each other, right? We're tough on each other. We said,
tough love.
Yeah, we're tough love, We said, boy, what kind of shirt you wearing?
I think we're very harsh in the sense that, we'll have a girl with thick skin.
Right, we do.
It's like how Sparkie can tell me about my infrared glasses. I just laugh because.
Exactly,
So.
Look on the girl, she and
I think it helps to build character though.
It does. It makes us tough, right? And it makes us have to like rise to the occasion and have a thick skin. Which
is why when we leave Jamaica, some things should come to us, like some negativity or circumstances or whatever. We can overcome them a little easier because we would have gotten some rough training.
That's true. Adversity. We're resilient people. Look at where you are in Southwest St. Elizabeth. It's one of the driest parts of the country. Probably is the driest part, but yet it's one of the most productive farming regions. It's the breadbasket of Jamaica. Every day people ask me, how come the driest part of Jamaica is the most productive? But when people are born with adversity, they build a resilience and they build a way of coping with that and being planning for that, being smart about how to use the scarce resources that they have, right? So they put the dry grass to create a carpet on the land, and they use drip irrigation to keep the moisture in. And then when they do get their water for their crops, it flourishes. So even during this COVID time, I can tell you that it's watching the farmers that have really given me a lot of hope, honestly, because I'm like, boy, you can imagine, these people are getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and
still pushing and
pushing. If they can do that every day, then guess what? They have had COVID from they were born. You get me? It's like they've dealt with adversity and whether it may rain or not. And more than likely it's not gonna rain.
So this is just another circumstance for them that they're another hurdle they're jumping over.
So you know, those to me are the true heroes, you know. So suppose we really were to divert water from the Black River, all these millions, these hard-working, resilient farmers, affordable, dependable irrigation. Can you imagine what could happen to the productivity of this region? Can you imagine? It would be like gold, honestly.
Because they're already doing well with the little that they have.
Thank you.
So imagine if they had more support and they had a dependable water supply, as you said, it could be.
So those kind of things keep me up at night, you know, like how can you look at someone who is hardworking, honest, committed, dedicated, and what can move that person to the next level, you know? And you know what I believe is that people who have influence and have a voice and have reach through social media or whatever, let's speak about these issues of how we can advocate for a better country, you know. COVID has really it's been an emotional roller coaster for me. You know, looking at watching my stuff and how hard some of them have had it. But it has also tested you in a way that is also, it challenges you to think differently.
Outside the box.
Outside the box, and you know, food security is one of the most important, and you know,
People can't survive without food.
you know, so if a child goes to school hungry, are they really gonna learn, you know? So, you know, I've been blessed in my life.
And they're blessing others.
And, you know, I believe in paying it forward.
I was about to
you know.
say for it.
I grew up with a house, you know, when I was 7, I moved to a house with no electricity, you know. So someone would look at me and, you know, for whatever reason, cast their own.
They say, no man,
their
you
own
grew up
judgment
rich
on
and
them,
you have everything.
them have, you know, in pretty car, but they don't know the challenge that I went through and watch my father go through as an independent film distributor. You know, before Jamaican culture was really known. The first time a Rasta was ever in a movie was The Holiday Coming in 1972. You know, they didn't understand the language. They didn't understand the struggle, right? And he basically had to go to 44 countries around the world as an independent distributor. And he didn't want to leave my mother and my sister and I in Kingston in the 70s. So he bought an old abandoned house in Runaway Bay where goats and cows were living in. I remember it as a kid. I think he bought it for 25,000 Jamaican dollars. And I was taken out of private school and I had to walk 5, 6, 7 miles to school each way every day. You know, Beverly All-Age School.
So you had your own car on
Yeah. But you know, I was 7, so to me it was an adventure, you know. And I look at my own kid, my own children, 13 and 10, and I'm like, what adversity have they really had in their life? You get me? Mm-hmm. Or those of us who are old enough to have gone through the 70s in Jamaica, we knew what scarcity was like. But I look at the younger generation and they feel like, you know, nothing can rock them, and you know,
they've never really had the experience to be rocked. So
I think COVID, you know, has really, you know, it's like a reset button to me. It's like you've had to stop and reassess your life and
some introspection and see what can I do? What am I doing wrong? Probably. How can I be doing something differently? Because even the fact that a lot of things that we could have been doing virtually in the past, we're now realizing that we can do them virtually because we actually can't do them physically. But the option was always there. It's just that we weren't looking at that option.
it's true.
So
And you know, this resting time has brought a lot of issues to the forefront, and because we've had the time to really think about them, they mean something different than they did before.
we can act on them.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, I from early on in COVID, I said to my wife, and I said, we're gonna come out of this different people, with a different perspective. It's gonna affect us in a different way. We're gonna be more grateful. We're gonna appreciate relationships and dialogue more. you know, and it's going to bring things to the forefront that we took for granted. You get me? And privilege is a big thing. And you know, my sister said to me a few weeks ago, she said, you know, Jason, privilege is now something that's looked down upon. It's shunned. It is
As opposed to in the past.
as opposed to in the past where people used to boast about privilege, right? You know, and I thought about what she said, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, if you do have privilege, try and use it for good. Try and pass it on. Try and just live your life with purpose. And, you know, just try and reason with a youth and try and show them that, boy, you know, their path, their path can be maybe many different options can open up to them by just having a 1 hour conversation with them that they would not have thought of. You get me? A lot of kids just need someone to show them and reason with them and make them believe that someone cares, an organization or motivation.
As you said, organization. Somebody had a conversation with me, and they are part of the Save a Life Jamaican Foundation. And she told me that a couple years ago, some people came from abroad, and you assisted in housing them down by this side.
Came from where?
Came from abroad, and you assisted with housing them here. So as I see, you're paying it forward. And I took something very important from what you said earlier when you said resources that we have and how we use them, because a lot of times we don't really understand what we have until we're put in a position and we say this is all we have and we have to use these resources. So we must try our best to use what we have to help ourselves and to help others, and as you said, to pay it forward.
But as I said, you know, sometimes we don't understand the value of just a conversation, you know, with a youth or just how you deal with someone. And you know, don't underestimate that. And the work that you're doing is powerful work, you know, and I applaud that, you know. Keep it up and keep unearthing these stories, you know.
Alright, so what I want to ask you though is, for those watching, tell me what are some of the things that we can do here at James?
Oh my lord. Well, it depends if you're like a DJ Sparkie or if you just want to chill. You know what I mean? I mean, DJ Sparkie can't sit still for like 2 minutes.
Especially when
you know what I mean?
she's in the sun.
So she's mountain biking, she's climbing the ropes course, she's hiking Lover's Leap, she's, you know, going on hikes. I mean, but you know, people will typically go on a boat, go to Pelican Bar, they go to Wyas Falls, they go to Appleton, they go up to Lover's Leap, they go mountain biking, they go to Shirley, they go to our spa, they go to you know, they go to Little Orchard, you know. But a lot of people, you know, they're reading, they're playing dominoes, they're playing ping pong, they're in the seawater swimming pool reading a book. You know, you see that a lot. You know, they're reasoning with a local. People are fascinated by a place that's wanted intentionally to remain low density, right? Intentionally. So we're the lowest density in Jamaica. We're 30 rooms an acre. And the government wanted to increase it to 50, and we had to actually write and lobby for that to stop and to keep it low density, because we value our community. We want to see, we don't want it to only be about tourism. We want it to be about the local people and empowering, you know, fishermen and farmers, and you know, through scholarships and education and, you know, sports and music and arts and all of these things. That's why like a calabash is so important, you know. When a student goes and sees someone who has written a book and that has now become a bestseller, that could become a movie, you know, it's just one of those things where community development, just, you don't even think of it as that. You don't think of it as life and everyday life.
But then it leads towards community development.
Correct.
What I do like about here is, as you said, there's so many options to do so many things. But if you just want chill, like just stay in the room, go on the front and look at the ocean and just read or chill, the option is there so So you don't have to come and do all the excitement like Sparkie or myself.
Right.
I did most of it at the riding, the bike
Right.
riding. But you can also come and just read a book or just have a drink or something.
Right. You see, what you can't take for granted is that when a place is small, people have time to converse, right? To learn your name, to learn what you're interested in.
And then you get to know all the people that are working here.
Correct.
Because you like have a relationship with them every morning. Hello.
Now, if you were in a 800 bedroom hotel, you probably wouldn't be sitting with the owner, or the owner
That is
wouldn't be
true.
sitting with a young entrepreneur like yourself who is starting out in media, and spend an hour together and just kind of get to know each other.
And you still can get the same experience.
Exactly. So I think when you're in a village, it just kind of slows you down. And
That's the word I was looking for, village. It
Yeah.
really is like a village. The house, the different cabins beside each other,
Yeah.
and the destination, and then the beach. I really do appreciate the cultural feel that when you come here, you're getting luxury,
Right.
but you still feel Jamaican and still feel cultural. So
Right.
I really do appreciate that.
well, I hope you'll be back and meet lots of people.
A lot. My Instagram is blowing up right now, especially the climbing, the rock climbing. A lot of
Okay.
persons are- Have you ever?
Yeah, man, of course.
More than once?
More than once.
13 miles.
I must have what have you on video so you can't ride bicycle. You do how much?
13.
What you do? You gotta ride something in your bedroom, I must that you do. I will never see you on the video.
Hello? Alright, so this is basically rock climbing. So you go all the way up here. 45 feet, I've been told. Go all the way up here. And you go. Amazing line. Just if I don't post after this, Sparkie? Sister Sparks?
Them not understand the highness. Now, what it about? Let them see.
The Jamaica Defence Force built it for us. We got the material from UNICEF and from JPS, and it was a lot of inner city kids that come and done it. A lot of
It's
teachers
an
and
experience.
students. A
I
lot
can
of,
tell you that much.
corporate
45
groups,
feet.
So the fact that you guys came and conquered the high wall, and we named it after Colin Powell because he was from this area, and he's a man that I just kind of grew up having a tremendous amount of respect for. To say, you can imagine a young man from Top Hill, Central that could have become the first black president of the United States. Could have easily, right? And he decided for whatever reason not to do it, but he could have been. And I've read a lot of his books, and when I reached out to him to ask him if we could name it in his honor, he was so happy, right? That he started emailing and conversing with me directly. This is D. Colin Powell, and his assistant who had been on holiday came back
And saw the
it's
email.
like, it's not protocol for the general to be conversing with someone who has never even met directly.
No,
By that
we
time,
should
him
do
and
the
I, I already had like a whole conversation. He was so delighted. He was like, anything that's gonna change young people's lives, and
I think that's big motivation for persons here and persons in Jamaica at large.
Sure.
So I want to say this has been a great experience. Thank you for having a conversation with me, and genuine, honest conversation. I do appreciate that.
blessings.
And I'm going to tell as many persons as possible to come and have the same experience that I did. And I know that next time I come back, I will be riding the bicycle. So yeah,
Alright.
you can look out for that.
Alright.
Thanks.
Bless.